Hello guys and welcome to my channel. In this video, we are going to be building a complete website step by step using Google Sites. I will walk you through each page so that you can follow the same process and create your own site. This is just a sample website, and in this video, we are building it step by step from scratch. Before you start building your site, it is really important to have all your materials ready. Things like your pictures, your logo. You need to have all of them in one place. It is also important to have all the text you plan to use, all of them in one resource. So you have your image resource and your text resource. This is important so you are not stopping midway to create or search for them. It makes the process much faster and smoother. It's also necessary to have links to different sites like your Google Drive or external sources. This is optional if you already have these links needed in your site that you're creating. So what you're going to do next is to click on this menu option here, and in this list of applications, select sites. So after you've done that, the next thing you're going to do is to click on this blank site icon to open a new, fresh site for you to start creating. So the first thing now is your home page. That's always the first page you see when you start creating a site. So what you're going to do is to name your site, give your site a name. So the purpose of this design, the site is going to be Greenhouse. So after that, the next thing I like to do is to add a logo immediately. As I said, you're going to be following along as I create my own site. So let's add a logo immediately. This gives your site a sense of identity. So from the beginning, you already know what you're working on. So I'm adding my logo. So once you do that, you can see your logo has been added. Now I will just start designing. So give my site a bigger name. This is Greenhouse. So this is the home page. It's like the welcome page is what they see. The home page is the first thing visitors see. So it should clearly introduce your site. It should show your identity and guide people to the main section. So after naming my site, and I usually go to themes. So I start the design of my site from the very beginning, knowing what my site looks like. So I've chosen this theme impression. So the next thing I'm going to do is to add banner image, basically. So once you add the banner image, you want it to be an image, as I said, it's what visitors first see when they come to your site. So you want it to introduce what you're talking about. Now, as this site is a school boarding house site, so the banner image is about the boarding house. Now, as I said before, I have my resources, my text resources and my image resources. So I'm going to my text resource to get something to add to my site. And if you notice, I clicked on the text box to open this particular box where I'm typing, or I copied and pasted this text now, this International Girls Secondary School Abuja. So I'm editing it, increasing the size, reducing the size. There's going to be a lot of this as I create because it's all about making it look perfect, look like what I showed you in the beginning of this video. So I added this. I'm still working the size of the write-up. So I'm going to keep adding another text box to just add like the little tagline. Yes, so I'll add this. Still talking about the identity. Since this is a school website, you have to add the school's name and now the school's motto. So our site is going now. Next, we are going to add a welcome message. A welcome message basically to, as I said, welcome visitors once they open the page to this site. What is this site about? So since the site is a school boarding house talking about Greenhouse, so we have a welcome message that welcomes the visitor to Greenhouse. I also have a short write-up here, go to my text resource about it. Then the next thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to add content blocks now. So content blocks, basically, you could add different images, to show what your site is about. So as this is the home page, we add images that talk about what Greenhouse is about. So you can add see images of the students in Greenhouse. The thing I'm going to work on now is the footer. So because the footer is very important, it also adds to the identity of your site. So straight up, footer should be talking about your site. What is your site about? It should be like some sort of direction to your site most of the time. You can addresses you I won't add it to your footer, a site footer. Who designed the site most of the times added to a site footer. Now after editing the footer, making it look exactly how I want it to look, I start adding dividers to just add a little beauty to this site, give distinction to the different elements of added, the text box, the content blocks, and all that. So next I'm going to do is add a new page. So the new page we're adding now is about house. So it's about now. About explains what your site organization is about. This is where visitors they understand the site, the background, the story, the purpose of your site. They understand what it's about on the about page. So as we did, we're going to edit the page title about house. Then we're going to start adding our content by adding a text block. Remember that we add a text block first. Add a divider, then to add a distinction, then add a text block. So you can now add your content. So copy it from our text resource and paste it there. So it's the going to be focusing on the patron sense of the greenhouse in our about house page. I'm going to explain what the patron sense is. So we'll click this, then we'll add another content block. This one has a space to write text, so add the image of the saint, edit it to a bit bigger. Then after adding the content, our content to it, text content, and be editing that to look exactly how I want it to look like. So copy this from the content block again, or the text resource, and paste it here. And you can see little by little our site is coming up. All we're doing here is just adding more content to this about page. That's all we're doing. So the idea is to keep the information clear and structured. As I'm using different sections so I can avoid different to have different blocks of text to identify using different sections. So the next time I'm going to do now is add another page. So this page now is going to be just house leadership page talking about what's the like the former present leader of the house. You can make this as detailed as you want, but for the purpose of just this teaching, this is just what we're going to do. We'll just add a divider, then we're going to add a text box, get our text, add content block, just add images, add the content block, add images first and foremost. So follow along and build this site exactly like this and make it more detailed as you go along. But this is giving you the structure on how to build a site by yourself from scratch. So we're adding a text block for house leadership. We are explaining what this page is about. This page is just we want to highlight leaders, team members, important contributions to the house, basically. So it goes in line with the website we are building, which is a school website. So this is what we are doing. So we are adding the content blocks for different profile pictures. Then we're adding additional, we have added an additional description section also. Now adding the next page, we're going to have a house achievement page. So let's build the house achievement page. So this page basically is just to highlight the achievements and milestones, important results in the house, keeping in line with the school website that we're building. But first and foremost, we're going to change the banner image. We still have the page title saying house achievement. Then we'll add a divider. I like to divide it to give distinction to the different elements. Then we'll now add content block with 3 different images. Okay, we add the content block and put our images on it. This is our achievement page. We've added our content block. Now we've added the text box. So you can see with 4 different pages that we've created. The home page, the about house, house leadership, and house achievement. So I'm just looking at each page just to make sure it's looking okay. Before I'm done and I click on publish, I want to make sure I like how each page looks like. The message is clear. So I'll just click on publish. Once I do that, it opens this interface where I can see my draft website that I'm working on and the one I've published currently. I can also look at the changes I've made if I want, or I can just go ahead and click on publish. I can also see the last time that I made changes. As it's written here, March 4th was the last time I made changes to this website. So if I'm okay with everything, I'll just click on publish. So once I do that, the next thing I'll look at are the sharing settings. So I click open on this. When I click on this, it opens an interface where I can see the published site. I can make it public, or I can remove the link or just share it with my organization. I can also do the same thing for the draft. Once I'm done with this, I'll just click on done. Now, to recap, you have seen how to build a complete website step by step using Google Sites, starting with the homepage and adding additional pages to organize your content. You have seen the need and the use of resources, both the picture resources and the text resources, to aid in building your website. In the next video, we'll look at ways to improve your site design and make your pages even more engaging.